We've all heard of fact or fiction, right? It's a staple of the Commander format. But did you know it was part of a cycle from Invasion? Let's check them out. We've got Do or Die. It's going to separate all creatures target player controls into 2 piles, and 1 gets sacrificed. Stand or Fall is going to control how creatures block by separating them into 2 piles, and only 1 can block. Then we've got Fight or Flight. Does the same thing, except for attacking creatures, separating them into 2 piles. Then we've got Death or Glory. It's going to separate our graveyard into 2 piles, and our opponent picks one. They come back to the battlefield. Then we have Bend or Break. Does the same thing with lands. They go in the 2 piles, and 1 gets sacrificed. Pretty impressive. Our treasure tokens taking over your favorite Commander games? Try Void. Void's a pretty unique card from Invasion. You choose a number and destroy artifacts and creatures with that converted mana cost. Then a player reveals his or her hand and discards all non-land cards with that converted mana cost. So buy treasures, buy soldiers, buy Sentinel Worm tokens. You just have to choose 0 and they're all gone. Onslaught, Land, Cycle. Is it the fetch lands? Nope. Is it the cycle lands? Nope. It's the lands that care about your tribe. They're pretty powerful, and each one's a little unique for its tribe. First up, we've got Contested Cliffs. It cares about beasts and makes them fight other creatures. Then we've got Goblin Burrows. It's going to pump your goblin to get him for some extra damage. Then we've got Seaside Haven. Let you sacrifice your birds to draw some cards. We've got Starlit Sanctum. It's going to help you gain life from clerics and drain your opponent's life from clerics. And we've got Unholy Grotto. It's going to put zombies out of the yard back onto the library. We've got Wirewood Lodge. It cares about your elves and lets you untap them for some massive mana shenanigans. Then we have Daru Encampment. It's going to give your soldiers a slight buff to hit a little bit harder. Finally, we have Riptide Laboratory. Let you bounce your wizards for extra ETBs. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Love Tribal EDH? Then check out this enchantment cycle, the Crown Cycle from Onslaught. Crown of Suspicion pumps the power and decreases the toughness. Crown of Vigor, +1/+1, and Trample. Crown of Awe, protection from black and red. Crown of Ascension gives flying. Crown of Fury, +1 and First Strike. Obscure Legions cards for Commander and EDH. First up, we have Chromashell Crab. Steal your opponent's commander and watch him get salty. And we've got Infernal Caretaker, perfect for those zombie decks, so you can get all your zombies back from the yard to your hand. Click Slither will let you sacrifice goblins for free to get in for that Alpha Strike. Planar Guide will let you exile all the board and bring it right back at the end of the turn. Elvish Soul Tiller will get your tribe back from the graveyard to your library. Odd Judgment Commander cards. Let's check them out. First up, Seed Time. Who knew Seeds hated mono blue that much? You get to take an extra turn if somebody tries to counter one of your spells. Keep Watch lets you draw a ton of cards when one of your opponents is getting blown out by the other's token army. Get your gas going. Shield Mage Advocate lets you politic like crazy, returning back that kill spell to your opponent's hand for them to remove the threat on the board. Stitched Together is a nice effect to reanimate any creature back to your board as long as you have Threshold. Firecat Blitz will let you assemble a kitty army out of nowhere, and you can flash it back to do it again and be the cat's meow. Obscure Invasion Block Bombs. First up, Devouring Strosis. This flying horror has trample and is a great sacrifice outlet. And we have Vertaloth the Ancient. This is an army in a can with the kicker cost. Get that Saprolins in. Then we have Ice Cave. This isn't a creature, but it's going to let anybody counter any spell by just paying mana. Pretty powerful. Bloodfire Colossus. Pay 1 and sacrifice this giant to wipe the board. Then we have Ray of Dawnbringer. This is a classic. For 9 mana, you can keep bringing things back from your yard. Then we have Sabo Tavok. This legendary creature destroys other legends. Urza's Saga Obscure Black EDH cards. First up, Reprocess. Lets us sacrifice creatures, lands, and artifacts to turn them into cards. Powerful. Phyrexian Ghoul is a sacrifice outlet with a good card type, Zombie. Then Scourge Familiar lets us discard cards to add black to our mana pool. Great in those madness strategies. Then Dark Hatchling is a removal on a body. ETBs to destroy something. Witch Engine is a mana dork in black. You can tap it to add 4 black mana to your mana pool, then you can give it to an opponent who's way far behind. Underplayed commanders you should check out. First up, Tetsuko Umezawa Fugitive. This cares about low power and low toughness. Great for a ninja deck. We've got King Makar the Gold Cursed. Whenever it becomes untapped, exile another target creature and make a gold token. I'm thinking Vehicle Tribal. Inferno of Storm Mounts is a strictly better Shivan Dragon that can one-shot an opponent. Mavinda Student's Advocate cares about instants and sorceries in our graveyard and can bring them back to make our stuff bigger. Thrasta Tempest Roar is great in a Storm-style deck where you can bring this big dino out early and smash face. Today I've got more underplayed commanders I dare you to build. Do it! First up, Grun Lonely King. This is an Ape Warrior with Kicker. It comes in kicked with 5/1/1 counters and then double its power when it attacks. Jalira, Master Polymorphist, is going to exchange our little tiny tokens for big bombs out of nowhere. Evra, Halcyon Witness, is a lifelink avatar that you can exchange your life total with for one-shot kills. Heartless Hedetsugu can be tapped to take away half of everybody's life, rounded down. Pretty powerful with some other damage effects. Kel's Fight Fixer is a Demir Aristocrats commander. It's going to let you draw cards when creatures get sacrificed. Check out these Underplayed tribes and commander. Thanks to Piper Adams for the suggestion. First up, Worm Tribal. We've got the new Worms Matter commander, Baru Wormspeaker from Dominaria United. Then we have Hellions. They don't see much play, but they have a few legendary options such as Thromok the Insatiable. These guys slap. Cephalids just made a reappearance in the streets of New Capenna. However, they're an Odyssey block staple and they hit hard. Druids and Centaurs don't get much love. Let's combine them with Seton, Crows, and Protector. Drakes are the combo tribe. They don't get much love because they really don't have a commander, but I guess you could use Tower and Sky Summoner. Do you love boring, do-nothing mana rocks? What about boring, terrible reserve list cards? Let's combine them in the Time Spiral Totem Cycle. First up, there's Chronotog Totem, a stand-in for Chronotog. Next, Weatherseed Totem, a stand-in for Weatherseed Treefolk. Then we have Forestian Totem, a stand-in for Two-Headed Giant of Forest. Then we have Thunder Totem, a stand-in for Thunder Spirit. Then we have Phyrexian Totem, a stand-in for Phyrexian Negator. Have you seen this card before? It's been reprinted. It's Dragon Breath, part of a cycle of enchant creatures from Scourge that care about 6 CMC or greater. First up, the eponymous Dragon Breath. It gives haste and fire breathing. Then we've got Dragon Fangs. It gives +1/+1 and trample. Then we've got Dragon Scales, gives +1/+2 and vigilance. Then Dragon Wings, you can cycle it away and it gives a creature flying. Next, we've got Dragon Shadow, gives +1/+0 and fear. Pestilence is a cool card. Massacre Girl is also a pretty cool card, but I love getting the Last Laugh. Last Laugh is an enchantment from Torment. It's going to wipe the board like Pestilence, and it's also going to be like Massacre Girl where it keeps getting exponentially more damage in. Need lands? Try this cycle in your next EDH deck. We've got Wireward Guardian the start. It's got 4 cycling, so you can tutor a forest straight out of your deck. Noble Templar, same thing. It's going to let you tutor a plains out of your deck, and they don't have to be basic. And Shoreline Ranger is our blue option. It's a flying bird soldier. It'll let you tutor any island out of your deck to your hand. Chartooth Cougar is our red one. It's a cat beast with fire breathing. Get those mountains. Twisted Abomination is a big regenerating zombie mutant that'll let you get swamps out of your deck. Obscure Legions cards for Commander and EDH. First up, we have Chroma Shell Crab. Steal your opponent's commander and watch them get salty. And we've got Infernal Caretaker, perfect for those zombie decks, so you can get all your zombies back from the yard to your hand. Click Slither will let you sacrifice goblins for free to get in for that Alpha Strike. Planar Guide will let you exile all the board and bring it right back at the end of the turn. Elvish Soul Tiller will get your tribe back from the graveyard to your library. Obscure Torment Commander cards. Let's check them out. First up, we've got Cleansing Meditation. Destroy all enchantments. You got Threshold, bring yours back. Far Wanderings get you a basic tapped. You have Threshold, get 3 instead. Then we've got Plagiarize. Steal your opponent's draws because they love that. Get the Last Laugh when you wipe your opponent's boards with this weird Pestilence effect. Radiate. Radiate the love of Lightning Bolt to every permanent and target on the field. Obscure Odyssey Commander cards. First up, Nantuko Mentor. For 2 and a green, you tap it to increase the power of a creature on your board for a one-shot kill. Cultural Exchange lets you swap the board around in some crazy ways to cause chaos at commander games. Then Cabal Patriarch. This is a wizard legend that can be your commander, and with a sacrificial theme, killing creatures with -2/-2. Devoted Caretaker taps to give a permanent you control protection from instants and sorcery spells. Powerful. Then we've got Charm Pendant. It's mill and ramp all in one card, perfect for those Soul Time mill decks in Commander. Then we've got Need for Speed. Who needs lands when you can give your creatures haste and smash face for the win? Thanks for watching. If you like this, like and subscribe.